All right, this video is for 3.1 Part A, exponential functions. Oops, I did a typo there, exponential functions. But the first part of this assignment is just to determine if you can recognize an exponential function. So you're really just looking it over and deciding, is this exponential, yes or no? The way that you tell if a function is exponential is by looking for the variable in the equation. If the variable is part of the exponent, then it is an exponential function. If the variable is not in the exponent, it is not an exponential function. So like on number 1, x is down here, the exponent is 2. Since x is not part of the exponent, this first one is not an exponential function. On number 2, we have x up here in the exponent, so this one is an exponential function. Number 3, again, x is the exponent, so yes, that's an exponential function. On number 4, t is not in the exponent, it's down here, so that is not an exponential function, which makes number 5, yes, because x is in the exponent. So just look for the variable. If it's up in the exponent, it is an exponential function. Okay, this next section we are going to be evaluating, but we want to try to do it without a calculator. It doesn't mean you can't use it at all, but just know you need to write out your steps and understand what's happening. So remember that if I have a negative exponent, that negative exponent tells me that this negative 4 to the 4th is on the wrong part of the fraction. Right now it's on the top of a fraction, even though you don't see the over 1. We need to flip it over because of the negative. That negative exponent tells me to flip it, and then it becomes a positive exponent. So this is the same as 1 over negative 4 to the 4th power. And if I put, so that part you can do in your calculator, what's negative 4 to the 4th power. So I'm going to try and do it here in mine. So negative 4 raised to the power of 4 is equal to 256. But again, that's on the bottom, so this would be 1 over 256. Okay, on number 7, same thing. We have that negative exponent, which tells me I need to flip this over. This is 1 over negative 2 to the 4th. And then this would give me, since negative 2 to the 4th power is 16, this would be 1 over 16. Okay, so just make sure you show me that you know it flips and all that. Don't just do it all in your calculator. 1 over negative 3 to the negative 1 power. Since the entire thing is raised to the negative 1 power, again, it's just going to flip it right over. Then the negative 1 power becomes a positive 1 power. So this is just negative 3 over 1 to the positive 1. But raising something to the first power doesn't change it, right? So it would just be equal to negative 3. 4 to the negative 3rd is going to be 1 over 4 to the 3rd. And 4 to the 3rd, 16 times 4 is 64, so it should just be 1 over 64. On number 10, we have a negative 1/2 power. So again, that negative tells me to flip it. This is going to be 1 over 100 to the 1/2. And then don't forget that 1/2 power, that means I'm raising it to the first power and I'm taking the square root. So remember, power on high and root down below. I can rewrite that as the square root of 100. Remember the root here would be 2 and the power would be 1. But when the root is 2, you don't really have to write it. When the power is 1, you don't have to really write it either. So I can just write it as 1 over square root of 100, and the square root of 100 is equal to 10. So that would just be 1/10. Okay, same thing on number 11. This would be 1 over 10,000. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it does have 4 zeros. I'm going to rewrite the fraction here as this is a 4th root and a 5th power. Okay, so I can actually calculate this. I can either do the 5th power first and then the 4th root, or I can do the 4th root first and then the 5th power. I recommend doing the root first because this is a pretty big number, and if you raise it to the 5th power, it's going to get really large. But if I just take 10,000 and raise it to the power, or I'm sorry, and take the square root of 4, you're going to get 10. So the square root of 10,000 is 10, but then it's still raised to the 5th power. And 10 raised to the 5th power is going to give you 100,000. So this is 1 over 100,000. All right, on number 12, negative 5/3 power. So again, the negative out front tells me I got to flip it. And then my fraction tells me this is raised to the 5th power, and we're taking the 3rd root. So again, calculate it, but do the root first. So what is the 3rd root of 125? That's going to be equal to 5. Oops. So 1 over 5, but then we still have to take that 5th power. So 5 raised to the 5th power is equal to 3,125. Okay, so the negative tells me to flip it. I rewrite the part that has the negative exponent as a 5th power and 3rd root. Take the 3rd root first and then raise it to the power of 5. 1 over 3,125. Okay, on this one I have 1 over 49 to the 1/2 power. Remember, 1/2 power is the same as the square root of 49. And the square root of 49 is 7. Okay, on that one the exponent would just be 1, the root 2. Okay, and then our last section, we are simply just evaluating at the given x value. In this case, n value, I suppose. So this is just saying evaluate this function at this value. So h of negative 1 is equal to 5 raised to the power of 3 times negative 1 plus 1 minus 2. So all I'm doing here is I'm replacing the variable with whatever's in the parentheses, in this case negative 1. For order of operations here, I would need to do the exponent first. This would be, or I would need to simplify my exponent first. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, and negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. So this would be 5 to the negative half power minus 2. 5 to the negative half power, remember that negative half flips it over. So this would be 1 over 25 minus 2, which comes out to, so you can use your calculator at this point, but I do want to see these steps written out. Okay, so 1 divided by 25 minus 2 is equal to negative 1.96. Okay, number 15, we're going to plug in 0 for t. So 5 to the 0 plus 2 minus 2. So this would be 5 squared minus 2, because 0 plus 2 is 2. So 25 minus 2, which is equal to 23. Okay, let's just do a few more. So let's do number 16. We're going to plug in 0 again for a. So 3 to the 0 plus 3 plus 1. So 3 cubed plus 1. 3 cubed is 27. So this would be 28. Okay, here I have a negative 2 times 4. I'm plugging in negative 2 where x is. So negative 2 minus 1 power minus 2. Simplify your exponent first. So negative 2 times 4 to the negative 3rd minus 2. So negative 2 times 1 over 4 to the 3rd. Remember that negative exponent tells me to flip it. And then I've got to do this multiplication here first. I'm just grabbing my calculator. So let's see. We've got 1 divided by 4 to the 3rd is equal to a decimal, and then I'm going to times that by negative 2, and then subtract 2. That gives me, I'm going to round this off to 3 decimal places, negative 2.031. Okay. Okay, let's see if there's any others we could do here. Let's just do, let's see, well, let's do number 20. We're going to plug in 0 here for our variable. It's just 2 to the 0 power. Remember, anything raised to the 0 power is always just equal to 1. So that would just go to 1. We'll try one last one. Let's do number 23. So we're going to plug in 1. We've got 2 times 4 to the 2 times 1 plus 1 power, and then plus 3. So all I did is replace this t right here with a 1. I'm going to simplify my exponent here. 2 times 4 to the 2 plus 1, which would be 4 to the 3rd, plus 3. Now you have to be careful here with order of operations. Always make sure you do exponents before you multiply. So I would want to raise 4 to the 3rd power before I times by 2. Don't times by 2 before you raise to the 3rd power, you'll get the wrong answer. So exponents before multiplication, and 4 cubed is equal to 64. This is 2 times 64 plus 3, and that gives me 128 plus 3, which is equal to 131. Okay, so go ahead and give these a try today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me and we can get you the extra help. And have a great day, guys.